And when she came to us, we had the opportunity of providing that change to her life. But the reason why I share that story is because both women had the same exact set of circumstances. Both women had a debilitating vision, a threatening illness. Both of them had the same experience of losing their sight. But the way that they chose to embrace the life that they were given, the way that they chose to positively look beyond their current circumstances to the future of having something better. Those women show the contrast between looking at something positively and looking at it through the eyes of someone who has no hope. So I admonish you to begin the process of reprogramming your mind with positivity. When something comes into your life, try not to evaluate it as negative or positive. Just regard it as something that has come into your life. Don't give it wings to circle you. Don't give it a rope to tie you. Simply recognize something has come into your life. But beyond that, recognize that you will rise above any circumstance. Recognize that there is an almighty creator above who looks down through eternity and recognized that you were there and that you are going to be blessed. Begin to tell yourself positive things. Begin to rehearse that when that negative thought drifts into your mind, replace it with verbal affirmation of the good coming. Whenever you are dealing with setbacks, begin to say, good things are coming my way. Good things are coming my way. Good things are coming my way. And then fill in the blank. Those things which you want. There's a passage of Scripture that says, let the poor say I am rich. It's interesting that by definition, a poor person is one who doesn't have. They don't have what they need to have ends meet. But the words of saying, I am rich, means I have an abundance of that which I need. And continuing to speak the abundance, continuing to speak those things that are not as though they were, is an exercise of faith. Sometimes we have to look beyond those things which are just in front of us and not simply state the obvious, but to look to those things that we want and to begin to call those things in. Interesting experience is that most people describe their circumstance as opposed to describing their desire. Most people spend more time describing things that happen to them as opposed to calling those things that they want to impact. I want to encourage each of you to begin that process today, because a life full of despair is one that doesn't have hope, and a life that doesn't have hope is one that really is very, very, very difficult, one that's difficult to apply faith to, because faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And a lot of times, our hope is what is taken. And that's a most effective way to stop faith for many people. So the next time that you see that something seems, quote, hopeless, take a moment and begin the process of calling those things in that you believe can be a good outcome. By the same token, exercise cognitive or intellectual discipline by choosing not to dwell on those things which are always negative. A lot of times complainers live their lives in having more things to complain about. People who have depression, who talk about their depression, have more things to be depressed about. They call it into their lives. Take the time to begin that change today. Take the time to focus on something other than your current circumstance. It's interesting that a treatment for depression that doesn't involve medications is the act of doing something positive and serving someone else. The very notion of getting outside of yourself to meet the needs of someone other than yourself moves us from the role of being depressed to focusing on the needs of someone else. It's interesting that oftentimes our needs are met by just the experience of serving others. We find fulfillment in saying an encouraging word to someone. So maybe the next time that you're feeling depressed, call up someone and say, hey, let me do something positive for you. Let me say a positive word into your life, and see if it doesn't make you feel better. The next time you don't have everything that you feel that you should, try to give someone else something, and maybe help them have a little more of what they should. And if all of us do this, then over time we'll find that every need is met, every stomach is filled, every heart is full of joy, and our future is much brighter than our past. Thanks so much for checking out our Conversations from the Cave broadcast today. It's a little shorter than what we normally do, but I wanted to make sure and share with you, because I see so many difficult things during a day, that life is good. Life can be better. And what we call in is what allows us to be able to live the fullest and most faith-filled life. I'm your host, Kirk Kennedy. This has been Conversations from the Cave. Join us each and every week at noon for this wonderful, wonderful podcast. Check out some of our older shows by visiting our Facebook page. We are now on iTunes, and you may also see us on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.
Conversations from the Cave is brought to you by the Alabama Cornea Care Center, Northern Alabama's first irregular cornea, keratoconus, and scleral lens referral center, specializing in the management of degenerative cornea disease and complications resulting from refractive surgery. For more information, you may visit them on the web at alabamacorneacare.com. The Alabama Cornea Care Center, helping patients see the light of the world. Conversations from the Cave is a production of the Provox Media Group. For more information or to share your questions or comments, visit our podcast Facebook page by searching Conversations from the Cave. The views expressed on this program are the personal beliefs of the panelists and do not necessarily represent the beliefs of the Provox Media Group or its sponsors. Join us next time for more real talk from real men. Conversations from the Cave.